Hello everyone, I'm an active college student taking 18 credits. I own 4 businesses revolving around academia and bot development, and I have an internship. So if you got anxiety by me listing all those things and you want to learn how to manage your time better, then this video is for you. So in this video, I'll be talking about my time management framework that I use to balance everything I do on any given day. This framework that I will break down and explain in this video can literally be used by anyone who has numerous tasks to accomplish within one day. So be sure to stick to the end, and hopefully you can use these tips in your own daily regime and you can maximize your productivity and manage your time. So the framework that I use is known as the multi-threading framework. In order to understand this framework, I'm going to give you guys an example using a computer, because that is actually where this framework stems from. And for all the CS majors, I'm sure you already know where this is going, but even if you aren't a computer geek, I'll make it nice and clear. So in the world of programming, there's a thing called a thread. You can think of a thread as a worker. Sometimes when you're doing a regular human task, such as going on YouTube to find a video, in the background there's a bunch of threads / a bunch of mini workers doing a bunch of things all at once, so you can have a nice experience as you surf YouTube and watch whatever YouTube videos you watch. Hopefully mine. And now each of these small workers doing these small tasks to make sure you have a great YouTube experience, they're all doing these tasks at the same time. So in other words, if each worker is a thread, so that means there's multiple threads running at the same time, and that's where the term multi-threading comes from. So now here's a more realistic real-world example that everyone can relate to. So let's say you have 3 tasks to do. You have to clean your room, wash the dishes, and you have to cook dinner. Now obviously you're going to do these tasks one by one since you're one person. Now what if you were able to do all these tasks at the same time? Now granted, since you're one person, it's kind of impossible, but it is much faster to do these 3 tasks at the same time than it would be to do them one by one. But like I said, it's impossible since you're only one person. But now say you call 2 of your friends and one then wash the dishes, one then cook dinner while you clean your room. With this scenario, all 3 tasks will be done at relatively the same time, since all 3 tasks are worked on at the same time. It would obviously be more time efficient. And this is the overall gist of the multi-threading framework. The multi-threading framework is a framework that is based on asynchronous activity where tasks are being done at the same time in a non-blocking fashion. And this allows you to maximize your productivity in a given time frame. Now, if you heard me earlier, I mentioned a term known as non-blocking. What is non-blocking exactly? Non-blocking means one task is able to be done without waiting on another task to be completed. Given our previous example, if you were doing every task one by one, right, you would only wash the dishes after you clean your room. So that means the task, which is known as washing the dishes, is being blocked. It's being blocked because there is no worker on that task, because the task of cleaning your room is blocking the task of washing your dishes and is blocking the task of cooking dinner. But like I said, imagine if you were able to do all 3 tasks at the same time and no task was waiting on the other to be done. Then at that point, you would be able to do so much in any given time. Now you guys may be thinking, well, isn't multi-threading almost the same as multitasking? Well, there's a big difference, and you guys will find out very shortly. So in order to understand the difference, let's talk about exactly how you can implement this framework in your life. There are 2 main steps. 1 is identification and 2 is execution. So during the identification stage, you want to identify which tasks are blocking and which are non-blocking. So what I personally did was I got a note sheet, and everything I do in a day that is work related, I labeled it as a task I could multi-thread or a task I couldn't multi-thread and I had to devote all of my attention to. And here's actually how I implemented the framework yesterday. Yesterday, after I recorded my YouTube video, I let the video render in iMovie. As the video is rendering, which takes like around 20 minutes, I started doing my homework. Because once the video is rendering, I really don't have to pay any attention to it, but for my homework, I actually have to devote some attention to. So already 2 tasks should be done at the same time, right? The video is rendering and I'm doing my homework at the same time. So after 20 minutes were up and the video was rendered, I was still doing my homework. In fact, I had a whole page of homework left. And at this point, I could have made 2 decisions. 1, I could have completed my homework and then I could have sent the video to my editor, who would then begin editing my video, or I could pause my homework, send the video to my editor, let him start editing as I complete my homework. So what do you guys think is the correct choice? Real quick, I want you to pause the video, and if you're understanding multi-threading, you should be able to answer this. The decision I made was to pause my homework, send the video to my editor so he can start editing as I resume my homework. Now imagine if I picked the other decision. If I had continued doing my homework, which ended up taking me 30 more minutes, in those 30 minutes, my editor could have started editing the video already, and I could have made great progress. But instead, I would have blocked the task of video being edited by doing my homework and not sending the video to my editor. Because the only way that task is being completed is if my editor begins working. And the sooner I send the video to my editor, the sooner he can start. And this is where multi-threading differs from multitasking. In the multi-threading framework, it's not only about you. You have to think about other threads in relations to other people. Now let's look at the example I just presented. So let's put 30 minutes on the clock and assume that my editor starts editing the video as soon as he gets it. If I send the video at minute 0 and I begin doing my homework, then 30 minutes later I would have been finished my homework and my editor would have almost finished my video, because it was a very short video and 30 minutes is almost enough to edit it. But like I said, if I had finished my homework first and then sent the video, then that would be a whole hour of time that was spent completing 2 tasks, one being homework, one being video being edited, given that the editor takes only 30 minutes. Versus me sending the video in the beginning and it only taking 30 minutes for 2 tasks to be completed. So now you guys should understand the benefit of multi-threading as well as a difference between it and multitasking. The overall main idea is you want to never block a thread from continuing work. If I had blocked my editor's thread, which is like the task of video being edited, then I would have been wasting time and I would have got my video much later than if I just sent the video in the beginning, which I obviously did. So now why is this so effective? By treating every task as a thread, you begin thinking, how do I get work done on this task while work being completed on another task as well at the same time? By thinking like this, you'll be able to find ways to do multiple things at once without sacrificing quality, excellence, execution of work, or efficiency. And most important of all, time. And now I personally do this all the time for even some micro tasks. For example, when I'm writing an essay for college, I like to put music on. So what I usually do is while writing the essay, I may open a new tab and go on YouTube. Now the time it takes for my webpage to go to YouTube on a VPN sometimes takes anywhere from 30 to 40 seconds. Now at this stage, what I do in these 30 to 40 seconds is I continue working on my essay. Now, yes, you guys may be like, bro, just wait 30 to 40 more seconds and then click the music video you want to listen to and then go back to your essay. But that's also 30 to 40 seconds I can put work in on my essay. Because remember guys, the task of YouTube loading the music video on the VPN is already blocked. I can't do anything about it. I have to wait 30 to 40 seconds for the VPN to connect to the server and for all the requests to go through. I can't do anything about that. But now if I wait these 30 to 40 seconds, then I'm already waiting for a blocked task that I have no control over. But I'm also blocking another task from being done, which is my essay. The thread is blocked. There is no work being done on my essay by me waiting. So why not just do some quick work on my essay, wait for the video to load, and then once the video is loaded, go back on YouTube, play the video and then listen to music and then work on my essay. Finding these pockets of time where you can start working on this task, start working on this task while this task is waiting can really help boost your time. But now this leads me to my warning. You don't want to go overboard and literally blow up your brain, because you don't want anything that looks like this. Oh, 2 seconds on this task while it takes 3 seconds to load. Those 3 seconds will be spent on this task, and while that task is waiting 4 seconds for whatever, I'll be doing this task in those 4 seconds. That's way too much. And when you're trying to multi-thread 5 or 6 tasks all at the same time, things can get very hectic and very messy real quick, and you may start feeling overwhelmed. And I personally feel this at times, which is why I always remind myself to only really multi-thread 2 or 3 tasks at once. Because at the end of the day, we are humans. We are not machines. We can't execute everything perfectly. Because guys, even in computer science, running too many threads on a computer can almost fry its entire system. So when you're trying to run too many threads on your brain, imagine what could happen to your brain. So I advocate to only do 3 to 4 tasks asynchronously at any given time. If you can handle more or you need to go a little less, then by all means go ahead. It's all about you. But this is a multi-threading framework that I use to really manage my time and boost my productivity to do a bunch of tasks in any given day. It's literally my daily routine summed up in one framework. And by the way, I'm curious, do you guys use this framework in your daily life? If so, comment down below. And if you don't, try it out, let me know you're trying it out, and then come back within 3 to 4 days and let me know how it goes. And hopefully your brain is still intact. Thank you all for watching. Peace.